inspire and define your morality. So under Sharia, what is the punishment for sodomy? And because I'm asking that because I'm a sodomite, so I'm curious to understand.
Sure, of course. Anything that affects you, you'll try to understand.
This is where I'm really
but I'm saying, just having an answer. For example, Islam doesn't punish anyone for their homosexual tendencies, or any tendencies.
For the act of sodomy, what is the punishment of Sharia?
If there is a punishment for the acts done in public, explicit acts in public sphere, there is a punishment.
Right, what is that punishment?
It's not about what the punishment is. What I'm trying to understand. What I'm trying to understand. Listen. What I'm trying to understand is this.
You have to obey whatever the religion says before coming onto that point. Why are you, without even considering what it tells before that, going to that point?
Because I want to actually work out
come and consider the other, like the Ten Commandments, and in Islam.
But what I want to know is what is the commandment first. Let's start. What is the commandment? Then I want to understand what the fundamentals under that is. Have I got it right or am I wrong?
You're discussing, for example, let's start with very basics. Homosexual actions, is it good or bad according to the standards of morality which you think is innate?
Good.
Why is it good?
Because I think it's natural.
No, there are a lot of things which are natural. For example,
like heterosexuality. It's fine.
Okay,
it's natural.
Some people naturally have the tendency to kill people. There are a lot of people who have this natural desire to kill people. It's good according to your argument.
Is that ethical?
Listen, we cannot shift the goal of our standards.
I think that killing people is actually impinging on someone else's liberty. Homosexuality, heterosexuality doesn't actually harm.
In your opinion, right? But I disagree with your opinion. For example,
someone and it's not voluntary; it's involuntary control.
Okay.
And
do you think
taking if someone's life, it's not voluntary and it's harmful.
So now we're shifting our goals to. Okay, let's understand that we are shifting our goals now to, what makes something right, something good, or something wrong or evil. So you said it's to do it if it doesn't impinge on people's safety, it doesn't impinge on people's liberty, and so on, right? You're coming up with this kind of understanding. If you do you have a father?
I do have a father.
So if you sleep with your father in a homosexual act, is that wrong morally?
Is it wrong morally?
With consenting, of course.
If we both consent. No, I don't think it is.
So it's not wrong.
Under my particular.
Yeah. So in your particular,
would I do that? No. If you
it's not about you doing it or not.
It's not about care.
It's not about care. We need to understand what makes something. Okay, fine. So it's not going to be wrong. Okay.
It's not harmful.
So if you have a son sleeping with his mother, two consenting individuals, it's still okay according to your standards.
No, I don't. To my standard, I personally don't think that's okay for me.
We want to know whether it's okay according to your standards of morality.
Well, I'm not into that.
I'm asking about.
I don't find that that's something that I'd want to do.
It's not about what you want. According to your standards of morality, is it okay? Is it good if they're two consenting adults, like a father and a daughter, or a son or a mother, and if they want to have an intimate relationship, according to your standards of morality, is there anything wrong with it?
If they're at the age of consent, then no, they can do what they like. I personally don't. I wouldn't be into that, but under my standards of morality, that's exactly what my position would be, I suppose.
So there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Well, I personally wouldn't do it, no. But
now, do you ask about your personal?
I don't believe that the punishment for doing that would be.
No, we're not discussing whether you like it yourself or not.
Yeah.
We are discussing the standards of morality.
So I can't impinge on what people do.
Sorry?
I'm a libertarian, so I can't impinge on what people do. So I personally don't think it's.
What does it mean you're libertarian?
A libertarian means I don't believe that I can impinge on other people's rights and liberties.
Right. So that means everyone has their own views and it's okay.
Well, yeah, provided it doesn't harm people.
Yeah. So if, for example, you live in a society, in this society, can you do whatever you want to choose to do?
No.
The society.
There are laws and regulations.
So basically, the country infringes on your liberty.
Yes, but I also have a say.
Is there anywhere in this world?
I also have a say in those people that are making those decisions as well.
But still, you haven't able to change whatever.
And those laws change over time as well, whereas the texts don't change.
Yeah, but what you are saying now, you're libertarian, and yet you have been enslaved in a system which you're constantly trying to change to your own wishes and whims.
That's right, because we changed. It's called progress. So things evolve. Going back to what you mentioned
Right.
about my innate moral compass and how that's changed since I was a child.
That's not innate.
That's the same.
That's if you're acquired. You're acquiring new information.
Or my internally acquired
No.
moral compass.
No, it's the society,
Over time.
the environment.
Society changes over
No, it's the society, your environment, your learning, your some kind of perception of things. They are modifying and modeling your behavior. That's what it is. It's not innate. This is something you learned behavior.
It's not just
If it's innate,
because you
why
and
does
I have a very different perception. We've been brought. We're living in the UK. We've got the same externalities influencing us, but
So
we have
now-
very different points, perspectives.
So now you have your view, and let's say I have my view, right? So if I want my view that everyone should have their own views, how is society going to function?
Well, that's
Everyone has their own view.
democracy. So everyone has an opinion. Everyone has a vote.
No, they don't agree. That's the problem. If you have everyone have their
Consensus. There's consensus on some items, and then there's a
So you're
vote
okay
and
with
majority.
that? So you're okay with that? So if the majority of the Muslims decide in an Islamic country the punishment for homosexual is this, it's okay.
No, I don't believe that.
You just argued for that, and now you're going against your own argument. You need to be consistent.
It conflicts against my moral.
No, but you need to be consistent though. You need to be consistent in your standards and your argumentation. You just provide an argument, democracy is okay. It's okay. If a lot of people, or the majority, decide together, whatever they want to decide, it's okay.
To kill people. So like the Nazis killed the
so you don't agree with it then?
No, I don't agree with that.
Right, so it's not about a lot of people then. Okay, so how would we, if everyone have their own views, everyone is libertarian, where we want to decide whatever is good for us or individually, how is society going to function? How are we going to live in a society?
Because we've got a majority that make the rules.
So now you're saying
My issue is
majority
around
makes the
rules
rule.
that are made, because if the majority of people
How does the
hold a-
majority make
if
the rule?
Can I finish? If the majority of people hold a particular view, and talking specifically to sodomy, which is what we were talking about at the start of the conversation, I was trying to understand why, under Sharia, the punishment for homosexuality is death. That's what I was trying to understand.
Because Sharia considers to be this is a public crime if it's done in a public area.
Right.
You consider,
So in
because
this
you need to
country-
differentiate between homosexual tendencies, like people have tendencies to have relationship with a tree. You can have tendencies with anything. Islam does not punish you for having these tendencies. Islam says you need to control. For example, people have tendencies to sleep with young children, pedophiles.
Yes.
Right. Do you consider these tendencies is okay to have?
No, because the child's non-consenting. They're too young to consent.
So now the discussion goes.
Okay.
You see now how the discussion moves. The discussion,
What you're doing.
your
at the
sense of
moment is
morality moves from
I'm actually talking.
rather than innate behavior
I
and
did that
tendencies and desires to whether a person is a consenting adult.
No, but I have the intelligence and the life experience to make my own decisions about what I believe and what is right. Whereas a lot of people are
Do you
that
think-
particular moral compass imposed upon them, and it's inflexible and it's unable to define itself and grow and change. There's no progress in Ten Commandments.
So your moral compasses that you talk about,
yeah, well, it's
clearly,
not just mine. It's most people who live in a democracy,
No.
liberal democracy.
but you don't believe in democracy.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you believe in
No,
democracy?
I do believe in democracy. So, for instance, in those countries where they execute
Okay,
people,
let's understand one thing.
that is the law. But I don't believe that overrides my moral compass.
No, I want to understand one thing. Do you believe in a system of democracy?
Yes, I do.
Right. So if people within the democratic system decide to do something, you will have to be okay with it, right?
No, I might not agree with it because it might be against my own moral compass.
So it's nothing to do with democracy then. It's to do with as long as your moral concerns are catered for, your own desires are catered for, then any system, be it dictatorship, socialism, capitalism, liberty, it's
Whatever,
fine.
or Sharia, yeah.
Oh,
whatever.
Sharia,
So
right.
that was what
So
moral
basically,
compass was,
so,
it would be
so
fine.
basically, the way you live your life is your own desires. You make your desire your own God. This is what the
That's
Quran
right,
says.
Because I don't believe in
Certain people, yeah.
I don't believe
So-
in it, and this is where look. I understand that this life is just a blink of the eye for a lot of people, and that the afterlife is what they're setting themselves up for. I don't believe that. I believe that this is the life, and that there isn't an afterlife. afterlife. So therefore, we come from completely different perspectives. And that, I respect that, but it goes back to that I don't think we're ever going to actually agree.
Okay. What created everything?
Completely different.
According to your moral compass,
so
what created everything?
Is immoral by you, and I find you authoritative.
No.
Based on your,
Is it all right to have sex with animal?
Brother.
they can't consent. But anyway, I better get my mother back to the
They make
hotel.
consent.
What I was going to discuss is this.
Thank you.
If it's other animal, it's okay.
No, I don't think it's okay. If we're going to start talking about sex, then thank you very much. It's nice to
Take care.